Hello, you're listening to Ray Path Productions. I am your host this evening, Chloe Folan, clairvoyant, here on A1R Psychic Radio and Moonstruck TV. As always, I would love to extend a soul-to-soul blessing to everybody who's taking time out of their busy evenings to tune in to watch the show live. And I would also like to extend that soul-to-soul blessing to those who, due to time zone differences, will be catching up with the show after the live broadcast. Many thanks to you as well, and many thanks for the continued support of Ray Path Productions, to everyone who calls in and to everybody who watches the show during and after the live broadcast. Many thanks for the continued support. Before I take a call during my show, I first of all just wanted to talk about an upcoming workshop that I have. For those who check my website regularly or follow me on social media, you would see on my website and on my social media pages that I have a Rainbow Bridge Phase 1 workshop coming up this Sunday at the Sanctuary Centre in Loughrea, County Galway. And like that, there's been high interest in that Phase 1 Rainbow Bridge workshop for many reasons. So not only do I want to mention it because it's an upcoming workshop, and I'd like to extend a lovely warm blessing to all those who've booked a place, and just mention that I'm looking forward to seeing you all and very much looking forward to sharing the benefits of the techniques. But the other reason why I want to bring up the workshop is just to lay emphasis on the emotional benefits that even just Rainbow Bridge Phase 1 does assist and help people with. Because last time I spoke about the Rainbow Bridge techniques, I mainly spoke about the Rainbow Bridge techniques from a karmic clearing perspective over how effective it was as a do-it-yourself self-clearing method. But I didn't really talk about the benefits emotionally, even just in the early stages of the technique. And the reason why I want to bring that up is I've noticed collectively there does seem to be an increase in people who are wanting to define emotional boundaries and understand what that is, in people who are becoming far more aware of their emotional health and what emotional health means, and becoming very interested in ways that even in everyday ways, emotional health can be minded, noticed, healthfully worked with, techniques that help you to integrate emotions, techniques that help you to witness and recognize your emotions, and techniques that help you reach a healthier place within yourself emotionally, and techniques that also help to develop a better quality of emotional relationships with other people. There's huge collective interest in that right now. And definitely even with people I have coming to me for readings and healing sessions, in the last 2-3 weeks, there's been an undertone of what's been prompting it is wanting to seek out better emotional health for different reasons. So this brings me back to why the backbone of what I do is the Rainbow Bridge techniques, and why when most people work with me, at some stage, I will bring the Rainbow Bridge techniques up, and even just for the benefits it creates emotionally. The Rainbow Bridge techniques are extremely good because generally speaking, and I do mean speaking generally, most people on the planet, and I'm now talking about heart center pedal development, most people on the planet are struggling to open the astral plane pedal ring, which is the second ring of heart center pedals in the heart center. And that quite often catches people out in the quandary of falling back into old emotional patterns with people, old emotional patterns in relationships, unhealthy emotional patterns within the self, and especially that astral plane sacrifice pedal. If someone hasn't opened that particular pedal, or is in the middle of trying to open that pedal, even more emphasis is put on, why do certain relationships keep happening that aren't healthy? How do I keep finding myself in, these same emotional dynamics with other people? What is going on? And that's usually where I'll bring up the Rainbow Bridge techniques. Because even just with phase 1 of the Rainbow Bridge techniques, and like I said before, when you are taught the technique in the workshop, you then have to use the phase 1 techniques, which take about 3 to 4 months to complete, with a little bit of maintenance work afterwards. But I clairvoyantly see it over and over and over again with people that come and receive proper teachings on the techniques and then apply the technique properly afterwards. Everyone who does that will get those astral plane petals open and then automatically start to notice better emotional health within themselves and better emotional health in their relationships with other people. And either the emotional relationships that were difficult sorting out, in other words, the difficulties calming down, or being able to amicably part ways with the person there's that aggro with. And lo and behold, they start finding that they're not falling into the same unhealthy emotional relationship structures, relationship dynamics. And it's something I've seen over and over and over again. They get to that point where they reach the second stage of Rainbow Bridge building, where emotional health comes in. Because as that astral plane sacrifice petal opens, it releases all unhealthy emotional ties to people, places, and things. So it healthily redefines the types of emotional ties that you have to people, places, and things, and even possessions. So being able to get all of those astral plane petals open is a huge gift, and it creates an increase in intuitive capacities. It creates a better state of emotional health within the personal self, within your own personality vehicles, which therefore helps your outer relationships be healthier from an emotional perspective, brings in a better quality of emotional health into your relationships. And it really does help where you would notice there's been a lot of articles released lately over what's called control dramas. So people that utilize even just phase 1 of the Rainbow Bridge techniques find that they don't fall into control dramas or get dragged into other people's dramas. And it really is without huge effort. They don't have to be on the paranoid lookout. They don't have to watch everything being said and done. The emotional better state they are carrying within themselves with having done phase 1 of Rainbow Bridge just creates that inner and outer state of a healthier place within the emotional self, and then being able to connect with others in a healthier way emotionally, and not having to worry about getting dragged or caught up in anything massively unhealthy. And if they are in a situation like that, being able to transverse it with grace and with etiquette, and being able to manage it without getting overwhelmed or burnt out. So definitely those that have booked a place at the phase 1 Rainbow Bridge Technique Workshop this coming Sunday, September the 1st at the Sanctuary Centre, you're in for a real treat on many different levels, because there are many different benefits to the Rainbow Bridge techniques and many different reasons why people are drawn to the Rainbow Bridge techniques. But you're definitely in for a treat. And for those that haven't been able to make it, I will put on another phase 1 Rainbow Bridge shop next year. So please do keep an eye out. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing everybody this Sunday, and looking forward for an opportunity to explaining the techniques in more detail. You're definitely in for a treat, and you will thoroughly enjoy it, and you will thoroughly enjoy noticing the benefits if you choose to apply the techniques and use the technique after the workshop. On that note, I believe we have a gentleman calling into the show. Stephen in Chicago. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Stephen, hello, yes, how can I help you? Do you have a query that you'd like to run by me for guidance?
Yes, you know what, I have a couple questions, and I actually am in a really bad situation with the courts right now, and I'm lucky that my girlfriend didn't leave me. So I have a lot of problems right now with my life.
Okay, Stephen, you said that you're in the midst of a current court case. Did you want me to do a bit of a reading on the court case or just your life in general at the moment?
I actually, a month ago, I actually screwed up, and one guy went in front of me, cut me off, in fact, and I didn't go right. I went left into oncoming traffic, and I almost killed myself, and I got hit with a DUI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what's important, Stephen, is are you receiving the help that you need with recovery? Are you seeing a counselor? Are you getting help for what's happening? Because like that, why it's good to understand what happened, it's just as important to also make sure that you are getting the right help to not stay in unhealthy healthy situations.
And today I actually filed for divorce too. I went to another court, and I have a court date for October. Me and my wife are separated for 2.5 years, and I don't want nothing to do with her. And she went to live with some in her own apartment in another state, and I would like to know what that kind of situation would be. She told me she doesn't want to divorce me or anything like that, but I don't know. I don't want her. So.
Well, then definitely I would keep things separate. While you've been talking to me, Stephen, I've been tuning into you and I drew some tarot cards. So definitely right now, Stephen, the card I have as the present card is the Knight of Swords. So definitely swords relate to personal will and looking at healing the way that personal will is utilized. And this card also warns to be careful over contracts that are signed. So when it comes to your court cases, make sure you're understanding what's being signed. Make sure you're getting the right legal aid to understand any documents being signed. But the card is also showing me that there is paperwork that does need to be addressed. So this isn't a card saying not to look at paperwork. It's a card saying that legal paperwork needs to be done, but it needs to be done carefully, and you need to understand what you are signing if you're putting your name to anything. So always make sure that you're getting good legal counsel for any court documents that you are signing and that you understand what you're signing. The card I have coming up showing hidden influences is the Moon card, which shows that all is not as it seems. So there is a lot of illusion going on at the moment and things are not clear. It is going to take probably about a solid 2 months for everything to work its way through, meaning it's not going to be until the end of October that you're going to get full clarity over everything going on in your life. So that's why I'm saying it's nearly a double-edged sword, where the way to get clarity is to work through the issues that have cropped up. They need to be worked through. They can't be ignored. But like that, make sure when it comes to paperwork, as you work through these delicate issues, that you understand what you're signing, but that you do try to move forward. These two cards combined also do relate to personal health. So I do also hope, especially in October, that you are in contact with a doctor for your own health, not because anything is going to happen that's bad with your health, but there are current health issues that need to be addressed as well. So even though you've been asking me over court cases and your estranged wife, this is also about not ignoring your health either. So like that, this is a combination of, even though things are very stressful for you at the moment, these issues have to be worked through. So my advice over these next 2 months is to go to court, keep the court dates, make sure you've got proper legal aid, make sure you understand what's being said in the courts and that you understand any documents that you're signing. But quite obviously, you are not feeling very well physically, and stress of this nature would be causing that. So at the same time, I hope you don't neglect your physical health either. And as necessary, you do go to your doctor for health checks. So like that, I do see it's mainly related to stress and some of the issues you've been going through. But right now, you need to concentrate on getting your physical health on track any way you can. And you need to focus on working through each of these issues as it crops up. But definitely, I would not be advising you to get back with your estranged wife. So even though she's saying she doesn't want to, even though she's saying she doesn't want a divorce, I don't see any other way that this could go. Even though I'm not saying you'd be able to get a divorce this year, it's probably something you're going to have to look into next year once the other issues have been sorted out. But definitely, I do not advise you getting back with your estranged wife. That won't work. I have the Five of Pentacles here as an outcome card. And I was mainly asking over, what was happening around your wife when I drew that card. So this card would advise that, look, it really is a dead end, and not to be trying to resurrect things with your estranged wife. It's good to keep things civilized, but I don't advise going there, not right now. It's just going to add to all of the stress. But definitely, Stephen, this is about, the good news is I do have the Ace of Cups card here as well, which does relate to starting afresh emotionally. A lot of the issues that you are going through have emotional triggers. So do also seek help for coping better with the emotional triggers that are underlying everything else that's been going on. So when it comes to the court cases, the difficulties you've been in, what's been happening with your estranged wife, these are all aggravated emotional triggers that keep resurfacing that need to be dealt with. So I certainly hope that you have been put in contact with a good counselor or therapist, as well as being put in contact with someone who can help you with legal aid as you work through these court cases. It will get better towards the end of this year, but the issues have to be worked through, Stephen. Don't bury your head in the sand or try to put any of this off. It has to be dealt with.
What's going to happen to my current girlfriend then? Because I'm actually in so-called relationship, but we're not physical or nothing like that. We're just in a bonding experience and friendship and stuff right now. And I proposed marriage to her and stuff like this too after I divorced my current wife. And I just would like to know what would happen to her. What's going to impact what she happened on my life and stuff like that. Yeah.
No problem, Stephen. Straight off the bat, she needs to stay as a girlfriend. I know that you're saying you're hoping to propose marriage. when next year you're able to make more headway with a proper divorce with your wife. But definitely I would take things slow here, because the same emotional triggers that have been causing the current difficulties are still there. Until you are in a more settled place and you have worked through some of these difficulties over September and October, meaning taking a second look at where you can improve your physical health and starting to work through the court cases just to get some of those in the clear, then I would just be trying to keep things as nice, as normal as possible with your current girlfriend. I wouldn't be pushing things. I wouldn't be, in other words, just let it be how it is. I wouldn't be forcing the issue. I'll just do a quick 3-card spread just to get some validation from the tarot over what I've said, because I was picking up that information clairvoyantly. Let me see. Now, definitely she still seems to be in the picture, and I do think she will somewhat stay in the picture, but I really would keep things just as boyfriend and girlfriend, like that, go on nice dates, enjoy each other's company, but I would be keeping this nice and light, if you understand what I'm saying, where right now there are other things going on that need to be fixed, so this other relationship has a better chance, if you understand what I'm saying.
Okay.
So from what I can see, this relationship does have a chance to survive, but the other issues have to be worked through. You've got to get your health in a better place physically, and you need to address the emotional triggers that have been negatively impacting your life. And if you can do that and really get stuck into that over September and October, you will find that by December, you will be in a better place with your girlfriend. So like that, just keep things nice and casual. Don't try to make things more serious than what they are. And right now, emphasis needs to be put on your health and looking to get the right help for the emotional triggers, because they'll only play out in the current relationship if they're not fixed.
Okay. What do you pick up about her? Because she is in a dilemma too, and is kind of reflecting back at me too, because I drive her to work and stuff like this, and we talk, and she's kind of like, is, what do I say? Her father is separated with her mother, and in India, and her father is over here, but her mother's in India, and he wants to sell the house, and she's been like kind of depressed lately and stuff, and not really as talkative to me. And I just want to know what sort of issue is there? What should I do to kind of relieve the issue?
Like that, this needs a bit of time and this needs a bit of space. I do believe that by the time December hits, you both will be talking a bit more. But right now, that's why I was saying earlier, right now things shouldn't be forced, because you're not in the best place, nor is she.
Yeah.
So trying to force two people together who are in a flared situation, meaning you've got things happening that are causing you a lot of stress. She's got things happening that are causing her a lot of stress. So you put two stressed people together, and it's not a good recipe. It just doesn't. Two very stressed out people, being put together, that's not a good dynamic. So definitely, even though you might be feeling like, because I did get the Queen of Swords in that spread, even though you might be feeling like she might be getting ready to break the relationship off, I don't think she wants to break the relationship off. I just think that, like you, she's very overwhelmed. So like that, that's why I keep saying the relationship does stand a chance, but she needs some breathing space and you need some breathing space. And the best thing you can do for her is be in a better place yourself. And like that, not get too upset if she doesn't want to talk. Because like that, it's not that she doesn't want to talk to you, she's just overwhelmed. So like that, the more the issue gets forced, the more you will push her away and vice versa. So right now, it's just about taking each day as it comes. So like that, if you're talking to her, how are you? How has your day been? Obviously, she's not going to be in a good place. So just let her talk and just listen. And don't take it personally that she's not giving you a lot of emotional validation. She's not in a good place emotionally. People that aren't in a good place emotionally can't emotionally validate. So right now, let things breathe. Let things breathe, give each other some space. She needs a chance to work on her issues. You need a chance to work on yours. And definitely by December, you'll both be in a better place.
And eventually, it's because, you know, with my first wife, we've been separated for 2.5 years, and we've been married for 6.
Sorry, Stephen, I've just had my producer Dave tell me we've only got 30 seconds left, so I'm afraid I don't have time to address that query. But Stephen, just to reiterate, your first wife, the first wife you asked me about, you'll have to look into divorce next year. The current girlfriend, give things space. Things have a chance, but things will be better in December. Things need to breathe right now. And right now, you need to focus on you, your health, and getting through these court case issues and addressing the emotional triggers so you can be in a better place, so your life can function better.